All right, I'm Dr. Giggles, your host, and I'm with Ernie. He's the one that runs, he's in charge, he runs the haunted graveyard at Lake Compounce. And thank you for taking the time for letting us interview you.
Great to have you.
What got you into wanting to do the haunted graveyard?
When my daughter was 6, she was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes or type 1 diabetes. We started to decorate the yard to keep her mind off the candy. She was diagnosed in August. So Halloween, going back to school was a big thing, and then Halloween coming up, and all the kids trick-or-treating because she was in 1st grade, I believe, and just decided to do it. And it grew into this. It's one of the largest ones in the country now. So
yeah, I noticed when we did a little walkthrough before it had opened, and it just goes and goes, and from our walkthrough, I have to tell you, I've been through it in years past, but I think this is definitely, you had it rounded out well. You know what I mean? From scene to scene and different theme to theme, and it was really well put together. If I could, I like going to Six Flags Fright Fest and enjoying their haunts, but this is, I'll be honest, better than Fright Fest.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
So you did a really excellent job.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a lot of labor of love. You know what I mean?
Now, do you take all year to do it, or is it a few months?
Well, we take December off. Then we go to the Halloween show in Houston, Texas. January, then we go to the St. Louis show, the Trans World show in March.
I've heard of that one, yeah.
Then, we start designing, come back with some ideas, and, how to improve it every year. Always add, never subtract. It's one of my problems. And that's why it's so big. And then we start building in late spring.
People say per hour can you run through the haunt?
The tickets are timed tickets,
yeah.
Which is really great because there's not long waiting lines. You can buy a ticket, walk around. If you buy the combo ticket, you do all the rides, which is a great investment because it's only $29.99 for an adult and $22 for a child. So you get to do all the rides and then come to the graveyard. The tickets are sold in half-hour time blocks, and we can put, the most we put through is 750, 800 people every half hour on our busiest nights.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't even think Spooky World does that.
No, I'm very proud. If you ask me how it works, the queue line, I don't know, but I came up with the idea, and it does work. I get nervous every night. It's crowded because
right now when you look at it, it looks really packed. But probably by the time we get out of here, it'll probably stay there continuous.
Yeah, this night, we're selling tickets at over 700 a half an hour right now, so it'll stay busy all night long.
Wow, that's amazing.
Once you cross the haunted graveyard sign where we collect your tickets, it only takes 20 minutes to go in from that point, 20 to 25, depending how busy it is.
Wow, that's not bad.
No, the queue line is always moving, always.
Yeah, because when you look at it, it looks like it's an hour, 2 hours.
Right.
So, but that's good. However you did it, don't change it.
No, and you know what? I don't know how I did it, except I came up with the design, of doing the corrals, and somehow it works.
Yeah, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. That's right.
Now, I want to look going through. It looks like how much of it is handcrafted from your builders and yourself versus someone like me that does it. I find things around the house, or I go to Spirit Halloween. How much do you think, maybe in a percentage-wise or whatever, is hand built by you guys versus say going to a place?
All the panels are built by us. Every panel in here is built by us. A lot of the props we buy at the show, it's just cheaper to buy them than have a sculptor on hand.
Yeah.
The animatronics are starting to build our own. All the sound and light, the dark light we buy from Quan, which we starting to switch to LEDs about 4 years ago.
Yeah, LEDs are great.
Yeah, and dark light makes a great LED. We love this stuff.
Yeah, I started playing around with some LEDs in my own little front yard thing, and you can't believe this little tiny bulb is so bright. It's unbelievable.
It's added a great deal to the show.
And it's also amazing how little light really you need a lot of times too.
Yep.
It's like you don't need you don't need the 100 watts floodlight. You need the 5-watt nightlight bulb.
Yeah, because I noticed a lot of the as it started getting darker, you could see the lights in the on either a static prop or an animatronic. Right. You had that little light, but it was enough just to make it enough visible, but you didn't know. And I couldn't tell between a static prop and an actor. I could not tell. Ask him, I was jumping and screaming. And
that goes all the way back to our yard, where we used to have the neighbors dress up and make themselves part of the mannequins. Do you know what I mean? Where we interact humans and mannequins. And we've kept that going throughout the years.
And I have to say, I have no idea how that one when we went downhill with the green light.
All the mist.
Yeah, that
That was
girls
just
came
a
out of that.
beautiful effect.
I stole that from my good friend, Pat Costello, Scared by the Sound in New York. He did it on a flat room, and I liked it. I said, geez, I think it would even be better if he did it on a decline. And we built it, and we fooled around with it. It takes quite a while to get the laser at the right height, but when it does, all of a sudden the person in front of me, when we finally perfected it, walked down and just put his hand up. It looked like the Titanic. You know what I mean? Like somebody was drowning in the fog.
Yeah,
it was just great.
It blew my mind.
Yeah,
I was really
and
impressed
the actors
with it.
and actresses in there are great this year. They're just great.
Too, that most of your facilities are open, and I assume that's to appease the fire department.
Well, that's why we started in the yard. You know, and I was never a builder.
Right.
I didn't know how to build anything until I started doing this, and you know, it does it because it's all open air. Some of the, like the temple and the mansion, have a lot of roofs. Those are the few areas that people actually walk under roofs in the three vortexes. But other than that, it's open air. But I think we do a really good job of focusing your attention below the walls. You know, that you don't realize that it is open air.
Yeah, because I mean, once it's dark out, you can't really tell that much anyway. I mean, unless the moon's right in front of you.
Right.
But other than that, I mean, once it started getting darker, I couldn't really tell.
Right.
I mean, there was a lot of nice effects that I noticed going through. That it must take a while to, like you said, like with the laser light, to actually say, okay, let me put the lights here.
Yep.
So you must put a lot of time into deciding what light goes where, what prop goes where.
Well, I think it's gotten so big now, it's not a one-man show. I get all the credit because I own it, but there's so many people that are here. You know, I mean, we have a crew of 20-some-odd people in September propping everything, and we have a crew of about 10 people who start working in the summer. You know, right at the beginning of July, we go full-time doing this, you know.
Yeah, so that's going to take a lot of man-hours, manpower, and so that's
A
pretty
lot of
great.
labor expense, very high.
And how many years have you been here at the
Since '99.
Wow.
So I think this is our 13th or 14th year.
So did you notice as you went on, the attendance kept drawing bigger and bigger?
Yeah,
and bigger?
and I think moving to the amusement park forced us to become more professional and really make the show better. You know, more of an amusement park quality.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell it's really good quality. It's not.
Thanks.
I mean, a lot of the haunts that I go to in Rhode Island, they're not really that good. You know, they used to be when I was a kid. They were really, you know, as a teenager. You know, things change hands. People don't really care. So it's just.
Well, I think too, you know, the idea. Everybody looks at all the big numbers and the big lines. Oh, anybody can do this. There's a ton of money to be made in it, and that's not true. Do you know what I mean? That it takes a lot of hard work. You have to be dedicated to it.
Yeah.
And, you know, willing to put in, sacrifice other parts of your life to make sure this is professional and well run. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a do or die thing. Like,
Right.
I look at it and go, wow, maybe I could do it. But then when you really look at it, it's like, that's all you can do. You cannot just, you know,
You can't just throw it together because.
No.
And that's also one of the things that I learned. I mean, pretty much when I'm doing Halloween at our house, I'm starting in, August.
Yep.
Probably starting in before that, building things if I'm building props or making special things. So it's like you say, it's a long term.
Yeah, no, I wait till Labor Day weekend just because mine's right in the front yard, so
Yeah.
I don't want to look like the total weirdo of the neighborhood.
Right.
But do you have like if you see a bunch of little kids in line, do you have like a signal to say, hey, little kids, it's just enter at your own risk? And
We do a lot of escorts out.
oh, yeah.
Most people, the people that have to leave probably in the middle of catacombs, or by the end of catacombs they'd have enough. But we have 6 zone managers that are just safety, and we have 3 people above them that manage them. Our managerial staff is very, very large. Every house has a manager. There are 14 house managers, 3 realm managers, 1 safety manager who takes care of the realms, and the 6 zone managers. So we have a very strong managerial staff.
Oh, that's
It's
excellent.
been with me for a long, long time.
Yeah, because I notice the thing that I hate the most. If I take my kids to the haunts, they see them, they must signal or something because it's toned down.
Yeah. No, we don't do that.
Yeah, because I tell everybody, I take my kids to be scared. I want them to pee their pants, whatever they got to do to the kids, because they know going in it's going to be scary. So I don't want them to go, well, there's a little kid, I don't want to scare him to death. No, give him a heart attack if you have.
Some kids can take it and some can't. You know. Some,
Oh, my kids can't, but they still.
Yeah.
You know, mine curling a ball, and I'll go, "What's the matter, buddy? You stuck?" And they're like, "Yep." And then just.
If anybody wants to leave, leave them. You know, just escort them out.
Oh,
So you don't force anybody through.
Excellent.
Yeah, I noticed there were a lot of exits in a lot of different
Yes.
spots, so
Yes.
there are a lot of escape hatches.
All the exits meet, you know, this life safety fire code. You know, they're less than 150 feet apart
Mhm.
in any one direction.
Anyway,
The longest exit is, I think, 122 between exit doors.
That's not bad at all.
No.
And the good thing about the exit, though, they're decorated and blend in with whatever scene that they're on. Like, yeah, it says exit, but it fits the theme.
Right.
Which is I think it's a great idea.
Thanks.
Especially when you were like, you know, like especially with the church and walking
Right.
through, they all have that wooden door
Yeah.
style. And then if you go somewhere else, it has a different kind of style.
Right.
And I like that. I thought it was really good.
Thank you.
I mean, usually I could say, hey, you know, a lot of people from haunted houses, when I'm talking to them, they're like, hey, is there anything you can improve? And I'm like, at this place, I don't think you could improve anything. It's really fun. Like, I mean, you had the actors were getting ready and set up as we were walking through before it opened, and like I was telling you, they got me. I can't go to most haunted houses, and they can't get me. Because I know, from building a little haunt, I know what
That's
people are
right.
going to hide.
That's right.
You know, and then he's tapping on walls, and then sure enough, somebody walks around the wall.
It's funny because when haunted house people come through, you can always tell if they're from a haunted house because they always just kind of vibrate to the back of the group. Do you know what I mean? To spend time touching things and looking at things. You know, and like you guys took a lot of video or camera pictures today. I think that's a compliment. I know some haunts won't do that. But
Yeah, they don't want you in case you're going to steal secrets.
I don't think there's any original ideas anymore. I really
No, I think
don't.
what you've done, somebody else has done, and what
Right,
he's done,
that's
some
right.
other guys
He
done.
may improve upon it, may change it a little bit, but it's still the base thing. You know, we do even quick startles. It doesn't. You know, I think you get a good entertainment value for your money here.
No, I believe. I mean, just from the scares I had and the things that I've seen, I think the money that I've spent tonight, when I go through it later, it's going to be well worth every dime.
Oh, good.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I mean, once I go through it, then I'll really know how it is with it running. But I mean, the actors were even being professional and doing their character, knowing that we weren't a customer yet.
Right.
So they was still doing
We
a
got a
great
great
job.
bunch of actors this year.
So it was great.
And it looks like they really enjoy what they do.
Yeah, they do. This is the first year that we've gone to an entirely paid staff. Everybody is, on the payroll. There's no volunteers and more older people, So I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
The next
Well,
year we'll
that's-
improve on that.
That's pretty amazing right there all by itself because
Yeah.
and the good thing from what I see of that is you have a little more consistency in who's showing up every day.
Yeah, sometimes I think some of the people that we need more people on a regular basis. I think, even though it's only 12 nights, people's other lives interfere. And we've
Right.
got to, come up with more theater groups, which we will next year. I mean, I think that's one of the things that we have a talent director who's a drama teacher and a personnel director. So a lot of the headaches I don't have to deal with. I mean, there's so many things that go on that you need to delegate when you get this big. You know what I mean? If I'm not trying to brag or anything, but there's so many things that go on that I would be a basket case. I'd have a nervous breakdown if I had to do everything.
Mhm.
I just,
Oh, I know.
it's, yeah, I'm sure. Even in your yard, there's some nights like, Jesus, leave me alone. I
Oh,
do
yeah.
something else.
Right.
Oh yeah, there's so
You know?
many times I'm trying to build something,
Right.
and my kids want something. I'm like, leave me alone. Things aren't going right. I'm building. And I'm like, go have a snack. Leave me alone.
I think too, like I said earlier, I think it takes 2 to 3 years to perfect every house. I mean, Catacombs is new this year, and the facade was, God, we finished that barely in time. But I'm really happy with it. Like I said, it's 36 feet in the air. The steeples are just, there's some things that I want to detail a little bit more next year and put some other things in, that I think it'll be better. I love detail. For an outdoor haunt, I think we're really, really detailed.
Yeah, that's.
It's tremendous.
I mean, I've been in some indoor haunted houses that didn't have that much detail.
I think
That that whole jungle section is amazing too.
Yeah, I like the guys
It's
in the
nice,
ghillie
it's
suits.
tight, it's very jungly.
And the guys popping out in the ghillie suits and all
Yeah,
that.
I mean, the
I know you were
costumes.
telling me you have a whole bunch of how many trailers?
53 trailers.
And that holds the wood, the
No,
prop-
just the props.
just the props.
Just the props.
Wow. So that doesn't stay out all year then, like all through all the
Well,
season.
the queue line gets stored in 2 trailers. Hopefully, I'm going to put it in 3 this year. The last 16 feet of the endless hallway you came through,
Yeah.
that all gets stacked away.
Hmm.
That's going to be rebuilt next year. The Reaper's Realm, we call it.
Oh, you can't see nothing. You got the
Yeah,
hot
that
beat.
was that's so funny because when I built that, everybody told me, "Oh, nobody's going to like that. Nobody's going to like that." I call it our patented ending, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That I know haunts steal from one another, but I think if anybody locally grabbed that from me, I'd be upset because that's our trademark. You know what I mean? Where all of a sudden you're going to walk through, 60, 80 feet of pure fog. It's 80 feet long and 3 feet wide. So,
Yeah. Especially with that strobe light and the fog, and you're like,
Tom Wage is the general manager of the park before Jerry, who'd stand up on roller coasters, a real gentleman, great guy. When we built that the first year we moved here, I didn't think he was afraid of anything, but when he started going through the end of this hallway, I could see his hands tapping the walls on the side, and I said, well, if I can scare him, then I can do something. You know what I mean? Wow.
Doing something right.
well, that's all the questions I have for you today.
Sorry, I love to talk.
Oh no, that's fine. I like it when people can talk. I like to find out all the information that people, like to tell us. So.
I hope I helped, Joe.
We will.
Oh yeah, you definitely did.
Throughput's good.
This is where the Cardinal or Bishop meet you. It looks phenomenal at night. All the strobes and the stained glass are working. Very expensive stained glass window film.
I can imagine.
I have 53 trailers loaded with props.
Wow.
We had to shrink the size of this because of the building department. But,
Really?
yeah, a lot of the stuff I wanted to do, I just wasn't able to do. It had to be a certain distance from everything else that existed, which we managed to do. But it's an effect on.
This is all open print.
Yeah. We had to refinance the house. Then the second year out, we started turning the profit.
Tapping you guys because of that.
You get the movies on the
Don't make it.
You get white too? Gentlemen.
Like Gobi.
You're making it awful.
I usually blend in right here. And I'll turn this guy.
Whoa. I wasn't expecting that.
Bring it that way.
The light. So I'm just going la la la.
Kitchen way up there.
Hello. Good.
That way, but oh. Right here.
Nice. I like that.
Please leave me here. Please help me. Please, I just want to go home. Please don't leave me here. Please come back.
Opening up.
No. I'm coming out of my mommy.
Are you there?
I'm here.
I know you're like literally right in front of me.
I can't see nothing.
Smoke too much.
Yeah, I know, huh? So here we go. They keep getting me. I don't like this. I'm supposed to get them, not them get me. Stop! They keep getting me. He's right there in the corner.
Hey, you want some moonshine?
I would love some.
Okay,
There we go,
here,
this way?
take a big sip. How was it?
Oh, it was
How
delicious.
That was my pee-pee.
Ah! Wow. I wasn't expecting